Okay, meeting can begin.
Thank goodness.
Now, Mr. Zolik's here, we'll go ahead and begin. I'll call this April meeting of the Board of Education to order at 6 o'clock. Mr. Nero, if you call the roll, please.
Tyler Bates. Here. Jack Dawson. Here. Elizabeth Johnson.
Here.
Terry Lally.
Here.
Brian Bagley.
Here. We're going to start the evening off with a moment of silence. Anything that you hold in your heart you'd like to think about for a minute. We'll finish and stand for the pledge. Okay, let's please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, with that, the first item is looking for a motion to approve the agenda. If there are any changes, questions, concerns before we go through that?
I'll move.
Terry moves.
Second.
Elizabeth seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the agenda is approved. With that, we're going to hand over to Dr. Spolnick for student recognition.
Yeah, best part of the night is to recognize the Raiders out here in Raider Nation. And this month, I'm proud to pass the baton over to Mr. Rowan and his high school team, who are going to nominate some current high school and even an 8th grader doing some great work out in the community. Students, Mr. Rowan will come up and his staff, they'll call you up. We do have some gifts for you, so we have a certificate, and you'll just come over and stand by me, and parents, after they come through and grab their gifts and after they hear from their teachers, you'll have time to take pictures with the board as well as with yourself. So it'll be a lot of time for celebrations. That being said, come on.
How's everybody doing? I'm Mr. Leach. I teach freshman world studies and government with the juniors. I nominated a freshman for this month, Gino Carochi. Gino, come on up. Gino's a great kid. Through my years teaching, he's one of the most positive attitudes of any kid I've ever worked with. Always smile on his face year to year, works hard, works diligently, just whatever's kind of put in front of him. I've known him a little bit outside of school through sports. Any challenge that he kind of sees, he just kind of gets to it and takes care of business. He's grown a lot in the classroom as well throughout the year, pretty steady improvement throughout the year, and a kid that is a great representation of our school and kind of what we stand for here. So he's a pretty good pick, I think, for the freshman year, or for the freshman class, and a good representative for our student of the month.
Okay, my name's Steve Rowan, I'm the high school principal. I'm gonna read this so I don't mess this up, but G, come on up here. Emmy, come on up here, honey. So this is Gianna Nagy, and that's Emily Lally. I'm recognizing them. Emily Lally and Gianna Nagy started a project in the summer of 2020 after schools across our country were recovering from the initial blast of COVID-19. Morale was low and uneasy, so they wanted to lift people's thoughts and spirits. Their idea originated when they were in a different community and they noticed little signs of encouragement along the roadside and hung on telephone poles. They took the idea, spun it to fit our two communities that support our school, and it took off. In the first year, they made 50 signs and hung them on telephone poles down State Route 165, Route 46, and Green Beaver Road, all the roads that lead and surround our K-12 complex. The second year, they made 50 more to add and replace some of the originals that needed to be replaced. Most recently, they made an additional 75 to their collection. Their idea was well received and supported by such organizations as our All Sports Boosters, Krause True Value, and parents and friends of both the young ladies. The All Sports Boosters donated old sponsor signs from previous golf outings. Krause True Value donated paint for the girls. And the parents and friends help the girls hang the signs throughout the community. So when you drive through our community, when you're coming down 165, the coolest thing about this is you can be driving and not paying attention, and you see these little signs pop up, and they pop up, and they are on pole after pole after pole. And I'm gonna say, the first year, when I helped Emily take some signs down, because I said to her, we're gonna re-put these things up, so let's try to save them, let's get them out of the weather. Going on 165, going down the ditches, it's a lot trickier than what it seems, especially for an out-of-shape fat guy, okay? Falling, tripping, all that other good stuff. So I'm gonna say for 3 years, these young ladies have done this. Part of cheer, not part of cheer, it doesn't matter what it's part of. It has done things. I've gotten several phone calls just about, when you pull out tonight, you're gonna see them. Because it's something that, when you're aware of it, you notice them. For a couple years, I've been wanting to recognize both these young girls because they did it for no reason at all, just to do it. Because they felt like it's the right thing to do, and it's kind of what makes our place so great. So I wanted to recognize both of these young ladies, tell them I think the world of them. I've known her since she's a baby, okay? She's not my student, but I've known her since she was a baby, and I've known Emily since she was a little girl, and they're great representation of our school, great representation of their family. So can we get them around?
Hello, I'm Chrissy Sylvester. I'm the 9th and 11th grade English teacher, new this year. And I would like to recognize Nathan Myers. And a couple other teachers mentioned to me recently too that they felt the same way and thought of nominating him as well. Nathan is an exceptional student who always gives 100% effort in everything he does, no matter how small the assignment. Even still, we're in the month of April, junior year. A lot of kids aren't taking all the time to complete all of the assignments and do their best with everything, and he still is. Not only that, but he's the type of student who interacts with everyone, encourages others to do their best, always. He really changes the tone of the class, and he's very influential to other students. His positive influence really affects those around him and also seems to come naturally to him. He's pretty under the radar, but he kind of talks to everybody, communicates with everybody, and it's very impressive and extremely admirable.
I'm an intervention specialist at the high school. I mainly work with 11th and 12th graders, and I am here to recognize Katie Mariano tonight. Come on up. Katie is not one of the students that I service. She is what I would call a gen ed student. I'd like to recognize Katie as a remarkable 12th grade student whose exceptional attitude, kindness, and eagerness to lend a hand has left a lasting mark on our school community. Her selfless actions inspire us all to strive for generosity and kindness every day. Katie is always willing to help. I've known her in math class mainly over the last 2 years. And if I ask her, hey Katie, what did we do in English today? Because I had a meeting today, she can tell me in detail all of the directions. And she's always willing to reach out to help anyone, not just me. If another student needs help, Katie is there. And I can't wait to see as you move on to the next level after this, where you'll end up in this world. I know it will be helping people in some way, and I can't wait to see where you are.
Chairs out of the way.
Yeah.
Teachers, we're gonna take a picture. Board first. Good.
Are you taking this one? No?
You gotta stop.
All right, forward, can you step out? Staff, if you want to come in. And I just want to give a shout out to our teachers. They are phenomenal in our district. They work extremely hard. So thank you guys for coming here. Mr. Rowan predicting the weather.
Yeah.
All right, now parents, you have time. We have time. If you want to take pictures, you can take your individual. If you want to get with your child or children.
Yeah, the voice. Oh, mine are wet. How about me? I got your one.
No, no, when you in. Oh, go.
Literally 6 o'clock. Okay.
You already got it? Yeah, I already got it.
Where? How big is it?
Yes, it's up.
Where? You help me get the
I
truck.
just hit it.
Take a picture of us.
All right, we're good.
You're right there. Don't watch. Stop over there. Something on her shoulder. Yeah.
This is treasure.
Where you can go? Right here. The account looking guy.
Who do I see about getting Are you serious?
I'll get Steve up there. Steve will do it. Steve and Dan.
I definitely know who wins. Someone needs one. Oh dear. Get up there. Get up there. Our maintenance.
Pretty damn big.
What's gonna happen to your part? Winter time.
She had 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, gave up 1 run. We were winning 9-4. She was so nervous. It's like we played Jackson.
Tell him.
And then she threw like You got it. All right, at this time, parents, you feel free to stay, but this is like if you got better things to do, I don't blame you. I wouldn't be offended if you wanted to go. Thank you all for hanging out, and congrats, students. Thank you. Congrats, honey. Absolutely. Here or here, like this. That's fine.
Thank you.
I'm so used to like my daughters. God bless.
Yeah, oh no, I'm telling
No, I Richard, can you in this like that's take a picture of me looking like this. So you can get this out. He just came up there. How are you guys? I'll see you later.
Thank you, Terry.
Good job, Joanna. I would have got out there. Come on. You got a meeting.
Do you guys have the band on the agenda for tonight?
A band?
You do?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Because he's like, pay interest, so.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, have a good night.
All right, man. Take care.
Okay. With that, the next item is public participation for agenda items. Mr. Rencheck, looks like you're the one and only tonight.
Okay. Hadn't been coming a long time. Since finance is always on the agenda, I assume the nice little 3.1 mil unvoted levy you guys got via the inside millage balanced your budget pretty well. So I'm assuming we're pretty well in the black for the next 5 years on the 5 year.
Yeah, I'll work on forecast now, so yeah.
But I mean, if you're looking out 5 years, that probably, save your banking, right?
It will definitely help.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. That's it on, well, I mean, I hope that, obviously you don't need a levy. I mean, that's, I guess, the good thing. The bad thing is, if people like me get our way, we're gonna do everything we can to claw back as much of that 3.1 mils as we can. Because if you need money, I think you should have to come to the voters for it. And if we wanna give it to you, we will, and if we don't, we won't. But the inside millage and what it's doing to people's property taxes right now is out of control. I mean, I don't have a kid in the district anymore, and I think my property taxes devoted to this school have gone up about $700 in the last 5 years. So it's getting out of control. I mean, when you have to spend $700-800 a month just to live in your house when it's paid off and pay the taxes, it's getting to be ridiculous. So, try and be a good steward. I've said for a long time, I mean, you guys were on the debate stage that night, or the candidates forum stage that night, where that guy came up and, wanted to get rid of open enrollment. You both said you oppose open enrollment, but I don't see any move to get rid of it. And we're only getting we're getting what, less than 5,000 a kid for open enrollment now? So why are we taking it? It costs $10,000-12,000 to educate a kid here. We're losing money, and I as a taxpayer am funding it. It's time to downsize. I've been saying that for 8 to 10 years, and it's time to downsize. I just did the graduation list. We got 91 kids, I think, graduating this year. When you guys were there, it was probably 115, 120. When my kids were there, it was 115, 120. But yet the staffing is still at the same level, and we're losing $5,000-6,000 on every open enrollment kid. So, time to get the financial house in order, in my opinion. That's all I have to say for that.
Okay, thank you. Item number 7, I'm sorry, is there anybody else? Item number 7, we'll move on to communications from superintendent.
Yeah, first I'd like to celebrate our schools and our awesome staff. We had a couple schools earning 5-star ratings. We earned those ratings back from last year, but recently, I believe it was Tuesday, we had banners. So if you take a stroll around the K-12 campus, you'll see nice banners about the 5-star designation. The stars equate to different areas on the report card. So a star is a component. So there's 5 components depending on the building you're in. So very excited about the hard work, and we're working on now earning an all-star district this year. That's the work that we're working to get better every day. Next, congratulations to South Range alumnus Tom Landry for winning a jazz trumpet job with the Air Force Regional Bands. In this position, he's going to serve in the military as a musician and perform in military ceremonies, public events, and concerts around the nation. Amazing, amazing. Then I'd like to also thank the Ruraltons for their generous support for our kids, especially with morning care. Oftentimes, there might be individuals who, with the Raider care, might need some financial assistance, and the Ruraltons are always there to meet students' needs. Also, spring extracurriculars are occurring despite many rainouts. Softball, baseball, track and field, the musical. Congrats to the kids involved in last weekend's musical Little Women. Congratulations to our softball team, currently ranked #1 in the state, Division III. And I'd also like to remind the board that May is especially busy celebrating kids, specifically with our graduates. So we have many events occurring. So if Mr. Rowan is running around here thin, you know why. Yeah. Now, Mrs. Johnson would like to update the board on our math curriculum happenings.
Okay, I'd like to thank Mr. Matus for including me and looking at the new textbook companies and new series that are out there. But the K-5 committee has been reviewing new textbooks, and they're looking at high quality instructional material to guide instruction. And due to SB 162, which Dr. Zapolnik will explain better than I can, the committee has decided to purchase Go Math consumables for students just for next year for grades 1 through 4 only. 5th grade has agreed to pilot one of the new programs in some of the different units, like sprinkle through the year, along with using the Go Math consumable and electronic access. So then next year's goal is the committee is going to dive deeper into finding a new math textbook that is approved by the state, and Dr. Zapolnik will explain what all that is. And they're going to visit different sites that are using the different math programs, and then next year they are going to present to the board their findings and their decision, and the plan is to start then the new curriculum the following school year.
Yeah, so the new bill that is going through our legislator is just as they did in reading with an approved curriculum, they're soon going to do that for math. So it's fiscally responsible to just purchase consumables at at the sacrifice of the teachers to save money, so that if we need to use that money, we're not spending X amount of dollars one year and then buying something that's not approved by the state of Ohio. So we are being and again, shout out to the teachers for their work and everyone on the committee to go through, make some sacrifices now. Let's see what the state, we don't know when the list is going to be approved. And our current contract for our math, and we know our math data is an area that we wanted to improve, is out. The current contract's expired. So what we're trying to do is kind of get through, and the teachers are making a lot of sacrifices and piloting and spending a lot of research, so that next year maybe that list will be published, so we can see what we have to by law. We get choices, but by law we can only purchase curriculum off that list. So great work on that end. Also, I am sharing, our team is examining data, looking at the continuation of Title I funding at the elementary school. This process involves a lot of information, look at individual kids to make sure we qualify, and we have to do a lot of information to see if we are below a free reduced threshold, we won't qualify for Title I funding, which is a significant amount of funds for the elementary. So we're going through a process, there's a whole process where we're working really close with the state of Ohio on what those qualifications are. This week, we received the following certification of appreciation by the Transportation Security Administration of the Department of Homeland Security. We're going to use this information for safety audits, or for a safety assessment for grants, with safety and security and looking at grants. So this is just the certificate. The Department of Homeland Security came in today, and actually they spent several days with us going walkthroughs through the building, the bus garage, interviews, collecting data, and they prioritized areas that we can't publish for the public because it's security reasons, but from this information, when we go after safety grants, now we have legit areas that they identified. So if you want to pass that down, very excited about that. Finally, I'm sharing that KO Consulting has submitted an Ohio Senate capital budget application. Every 2 years, the Ohio legislature passes a capital budget bill supporting local community projects. This year, they have $700 million, so we are going after some money for safety, security, for technology, so that our general fund doesn't have to do some of that, but we're going after grants to technology, cameras, safety, security functions. So very excited. A lot of communications, I apologize, but there's a lot going on end of the year. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? With that, we'll move into the consent agenda with the treasurer and superintendent to review these items, and then we'll vote for all those in the consent agenda at the end. So the first item is actually mine. The approval of the minutes. Were there any changes to the minutes from the March 20th meeting? There was none. I will hand it over to Mr. Nero for the financial report.
Yeah, provide you with the March financial reports, so if you guys have any questions on that. But currently working on the forecast, will be on the agenda for next month to approve. One of the things I'm waiting on is the final tax settlement from the county auditor's office. Extended that settlement deadline at the end of April. The previous deadline was end of March, so I'm still waiting on that final settlement, but we're working on alternating to the forecast until next week. Do you have any questions on the financial reports? And then the next one that then announced, the Gary's Truck Services, they repaired for the bus that need more work. We need to go back. I can't remember which bus number it was. That was above the threshold that I can approve. And then the second one, was just a timing issue. So we had first order, but the timing was off. So it was above the threshold that I was able to approve.
And moving into me, I believe, motion to approve the following certified personnel for 1-year contracts for next school year. And, we went through those processes that are designated for us for those individuals. Next, 2-year limited contracts for certified personnel for the 24-25 and 25-26 school year. So those individuals will be on a 2-year contract moving forward. Item F, motion to approve the following classified personnel for 2-year contract for the 24-25 and 25-26 school years. And custodians, transportation, and various aides indicated below. Item G, motion to approve the following classified for continuing contract. This is by legislator. After so many amount of years, they get a continuing contract, so that's Kai Toulis. Motion to approve the following classified hire for the 23-24 school year. Diane Croston, educational aide, effective March 4th, scheduling work days reduced. So Diane was working 3 days, and then we reduced to 2 days. So we wanted the board to know that, looking at that moving forward. So she was at a higher number, she reduced it down. So it's just a tweak in her current schedule. Motion to approve the following classified hires. So Danny works on our mechanic, diesel mechanic. He's up to 5 hours a week. So when we are working through to absorb some of those costs, because of back in the fall when we had an individual retire, we looked at the strengths of all of the bus garage, and Danny is like the man for diesel. So we didn't see, when we originally had those 5 individuals approved, he was the diesel guy, and we didn't have him on. So this is so he can work up to 5 hours a week with that. Motion to approve the support staff hires for the musical, and this funding source here is the high school drama student activity account, and that is Mr. Lewis for his work in the pit. Motion to approve support staff summer help for this summer, effective summer 2024. And those are, thanks Dean for your work in recruiting these individuals for summer help. Actually, last summer, 2023, these are the first individuals I met. I walked in and there were all these 17-year-old, 18-year-old kids working, and I'm like, I owe you guys all Monsters or Mountain Dew. What do you even drink? And I think I still owe them for their hard work. Continuing on with Lisa and Jill and just other summer help, moving down into the transportation department, and then ending it here with certified staffs, item L. Motion to approve the following certified staff hire for this school year, and that's Ms. Pavlansky at the high school. So Ms. Pavlansky works with remediation as part of the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce Guidelines for state testing retakes. She's just reimbursed for the time that she gives up her planning time to tutor kids, I believe Algebra 1, that need Algebra retakes.
Algebra 1, they need remediation by the state in order to take the test the second time.
That's right.
If they did not score 684 the first time, they have to have remediation, 5 hours remediation, and retake the test. And we usually do that in their junior year so that our kids have a chance with Algebra 2 their junior year. Traditionally, they're getting a lot of Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, so we're using that class they're taking this test next Wednesday. So they've been through most of Algebra 2. So we found in the past that generally gives our kids a little bit of an advantage taking that rehab. Any kids that have to retake that Algebra 1 and of course test. I think there's maybe 4 kids that have to take it five kids total, but one kid just recently moved into our district at the beginning of her junior year. So, and she did not get the 684 at previous school, so we're putting her under our blanket and have remediation now as well. So there's 5 kids. She's working with them during her planning period, during the day.
Thank you. And last but not least, probably the most exciting aspect of this consent is motion to approve the following graduates from the class of 2025. And that's all that we have.
Okay, any questions? So I think you kind of touched on it, like with the transportation department, a lot of these moves are in response to the retirement last year, or lead mechanic or lead guys. You're just kind of shifting people around to fill that without having to additionally hire somebody.
Yeah, we absorbed that cost, and just looking at the strengths of individuals and how much they drive per week, getting an hour. So we said up to 5 hours a week. So theoretically speaking, 1 hour a day after they do their route, they come in up for an hour. Well, many times throughout the week, the buses are doing really well. So it was a way to get creative on how to be fiscally responsible with those funds, to look to see where the need is, and then using existing people instead of hiring an additional body to come.
I think we're missing,
Yeah, the four affairs, we have one nomination, so it's really the first and the second for the Senate.
oh, here. It was right, that's okay. So we just need a motion to approve the consent agenda items. If there's any questions. Elizabeth moves.
I'll second.
Dr. Dawson seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the consent agenda items carry. And that will take us to the treasurer's regular agenda.
Yeah, so the Medicaid school program, it's agreement with HPC, they work with Jack Home Care, and the school sites to submit the reimbursement for Medicaid. We gradually get those throughout the year, and then after a couple years, you do the final settlement, which you get reimbursement for. So it's just working with them, and they've been good to work with over the years, to help get some of that reimbursement.
Okay, motion to accept, that was only, motion to accept the Medicaid school program service agreement. Tyler moves. We just need a second for that.
I'll second.
Elizabeth seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Okay, sorry, I should have done that before, but now we got this one. A motion to discuss the purchase of a used 2017 Dodge Grand Caravan. We just need a motion to discuss. Elizabeth moves.
I'll second.
Terry seconds. Anything else you want to talk about before we vote?
Yeah, it just went from one of the vans got in an accident, they totaled it, so this is the cost to replace it, so most of it we offset with insurance, insurance money, so.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that van purchase is approved. The next item is payment in lieu of transportation. Motion to discuss. Jack moves.
I'll second.
Terry seconds. And what?
Yeah, this motion is just for the payment of kids that are getting chartered to private schools. So many of our special needs students get services beyond the scope of what we can provide. And we just have to pay, and instead of, if we can't drive, like if it's not conducive for us to send a bus or to send a van, then we work to provide those funds, so it's a payment in lieu of us transporting that student. So, and that's a legal House Bill 110 guidelines.
That's
It's a
state mandated.
Yeah, it's state mandated.
I'm sure we're watching to see at some point that line crosses where it'd be more economic for us
Yeah.
to bus them, but.
Yeah, every day we talk about that.
Yeah. So we need all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that carries. A motion to approve the Success by Six.
I'll motion.
Terry moves. Tyler seconds.
Yeah, this is to approve Success by Six, which has been here for several years. Very successful pre-kindergarten summer readiness program with United Way. Helps provide a lot of resources and needs for that summer program. Mr. Matus finds staff members, and then they use our school, and we provide, United Way basically takes care of the whole process.
All in favor of the United Way Success by Six?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. A motion to approve the February Business Advisory Committee meeting minutes.
I believe I should say March. I
Oh,
apologize.
yeah. Very good, February. So this is for the March minutes that we reviewed.
I'll move.
Jack moves. Tyler seconds.
Yeah, this is our monthly meeting where we're working with Mahoning Valley, various businesses from every sector, just to see the wide range of career opportunities, from drones to career trades to the medical, just various opportunities. And when I'm in those meetings, you go and you hear the different businesses and you exchange information. And then from these conversations, then meetings are set up to, hey, how can we work together to get more career opportunities for our kids?
Yeah, I'll say if you ever get an opportunity to go to one of those, I went with Bethany last year a couple times. It's really interesting. Motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I'll move.
I'm sorry, we already did the motions. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Now we have a first read, a motion to approve the first read of the new replacement and revised policies provided to everybody. Motion for all those, the first read. Tyler moves.
I'll second.
Terry seconds. Want to discuss any of those?
Yeah, so a lot of them are just the continuation. We have a lot of policies on the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce, how they're revising. For example, there's a school transportation policy in there, and it used to read school van, and now it's called school vehicle. So a lot of language changes in that, and I went through and there's a two-pager, so it has a synopsis of each policy, as well as I put the strike through, so you can literally see the old words with the new. So not much content change, more of the wording of how Neola updated a lot of these policies.
All in favor of the first read for those policies?
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved. The first read. A motion for the student overnight trip.
I'll move.
Elizabeth moves.
Second.
Jack seconds.
Yeah, so motion just the speech and debate traveling to Iowa in June. They're gonna travel by car with the coaches, and the funding source of the parents and boosters are covering the cost. that they need to cover for this trip.
All in favor of that speech and debate trip?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. And that wraps up the agenda items. So with that, we will open the floor to public participation for non-agenda items. Yes, same rules as the agenda items. Floor is yours.
I would like to once again emphasize that I think we need to look at a complete revamp. And it's not just South Range, it's education in general. We're still running a 1970s, 80s curriculum. And it needs revamped from the ground up. We have, most colleges, my kids go to West Virginia, they just got rid of their foreign language department, gone. I went to Toledo, foreign language department, gone. Yet we're still probably, for an honors diploma, a kid has to have foreign language. Most colleges are no longer gonna require that. They're not even gonna have the department to offer it. At the same time, you know, I went to, my son's gonna graduate on, my last one graduates on Mother's Day, so I'm in a good place. Had an awards banquet we went to Saturday night. If you're looking in the STEM field, he's in engineering. They had a company executive come up, 1/4 of all the executives in his company are within retirement age in 5 years. There's nobody coming up. There's nobody coming up to replace these guys. We need to encourage a lot more kids to get into STEM. We need to do it at a lot earlier age. College Credit Plus is the absolute perfect vehicle for that. It's not for everybody. I'm not, you know, everybody tells me I think everybody should be in CCP, and that's not it. But we know in 7th and 8th grade, the kids that are probably gonna go to college and succeed, we can identify them that early. We should be identifying them, we should be pushing them. By the time those kids are juniors and seniors in high school, in my opinion, they shouldn't probably even be in this building. They should be at YSU, Kent State, wherever they wanna go to get college credit. It saved me probably $40,000 doing it that way. My son's gonna, in a 5-year program, he's gonna graduate in 4 because he had so many college credits. My daughter did nursing school in 3 years. You know, that's a value proposition you can take to the voter. If you're putting out graduates that basically are graduating with almost associate's degrees or associate degrees when they graduate from this institution, that's a really good value proposition, in my opinion, you can sell to a voter, and you can justify some of the expenses you have. So I would highly encourage you to look at, you know, getting creative about what we do with the curriculum. You know, we're still teaching French. My son would tell you they should be teaching Excel instead. Because if you're going into engineering, if you're going into STEM fields, you need to learn how to do that, and we don't teach it. And that's a much more valuable tool for a lot of these kids and a lot of the stuff that we're currently promoting. So if you can, I would just encourage you to look at getting creative about revamping the curriculum.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on to other matters. Sorry, once again, didn't mean to exclude you guys. Nothing? Okay. On to other matters. The next meeting, Board of Education will meet, the current schedule is May 15th, 6 p.m., same place. Anybody have any opposition to that?
I did want to ask about moving June, July, August. I know, and I believe some on the board even are their kids are in like a lot of swimming, soccer, and so forth. So the question I have for the board is, how do we talk about possibly maybe moving it back to 5 in those summer months? Because a lot of games are right around that time.
Moving the meeting up to 5
Yeah.
on Wednesdays, always.
I'm putting it out there. I mean, we don't have, I just wanted other matters and just wanted to put that up, get it in our mind now. Maybe we could, you know, talk on more in May, but just as an FYI, thinking about the summer months. I don't know what your calendars are in the summer.
We could possibly change the days too, if we wanna see what our schedules are like.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
check your schedules for
Yeah.
next.
Keep in mind that last week in June, I'll need that fiscal year meeting, which is real quick, or appropriations. It's usually the second or last day of June.
And you just need about what, at least 2 or 3 of us, right?
I need at least 3,
Three.
but some might have something to see if there's something to prevent this for. So just keep in mind too, it's usually.
When is that usually?
for?
End of June?
Usually end of June, so I think it's like that last Thursday in June.
I think we usually do that like first thing in the morning, right?
This morning or in the afternoon, depending on the schedule. Just want to keep that on your radar too, that it's usually just school closing in procedures. It's usually a real quick meeting, but I just want to keep that on your radar too.
One other thing for other matters, at some point,
Dr. Nelson.
When do we need to know that by, I guess, is my question.
I think at the next meeting,
May
we'll
meeting, I
be
think.
talking about it again. so you just wanna check your calendar, see when you're on vacation, and we can kinda set those dates in the May meeting. At some point, I think we need to talk about the transportation activity fee, maybe have a discussion, a public forum discussion, to go over where we're at, where we need to be, and that kind of thing, as we're looking at our budget, Mr. Nero, we can kinda see if we're in the right place for that. So that might be something we need to put on the agenda for May.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Anybody have anything else? So with that, I'm gonna ask for a motion to go into executive session, to discuss one or more of the issues, specifically, preparing for, conducting, reviewing negotiations with public employees concerning their compensation and or other terms and conditions of their employment, as well as consideration of the employment, appointment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, and compensation of a public employee. So we need a motion
I'll
for
move.
that. Carrie moves. Elizabeth, is it?
Yeah.
Elizabeth seconds. Mr. Muir, if you call the roll, please.
Terry Lavin,
Yes.
Elizabeth Johnson.
Yes.
Tyler Bates.
Yes.
Jack Dawson.
Yes.
Brian Bagwell.
Yes. So we are going to enter executive at 6:46. We're not going to take any action following the executive. We'll come back out, close the meeting out. So if you'd like to stick around, that's all we're going to do. You're welcome to do that. Otherwise, we'll see you next month.